question again?
So like what so you brought up the 800, right? And it made you feel
Yeah,
uncomfortable because I was making you run a pace to the point where so we can qualify for nationals. So
yeah,
what did you find inside your head that was making you push through it so that we're like even though you
oh,
hated the workout, but you had to
right,
go
right, right,
through it.
right. So
Mhm.
I remember, like, I couldn't do it, and I was like, I actually like left the track,
Mhm.
and I was like sitting down, and I think I almost like cried, and I thought I cannot, like, I actually wanted to give up just because I couldn't run the 800s. And but then I pushed through, and I thought, like, don't give up. It's just one thing, and you cannot have every day to be perfect.
Mhm.
And what maybe made me through finishing this workout is start little by little and don't expect too much,
Mhm.
and you will see process if you keep going. And so I probably don't took it too fast. I just took it slowly and slowly and got faster and faster. And I think just trusting the process in yourself makes me feel like maybe this is how I could push through and get this out.
So you took baby steps in order for you to get through. So you're like, all right, if I could survive the first round, I could survive the next 6 rounds. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. All right, so next time make sure I add 10 more rounds. So that's good. What about you, Kyla or Maria? Like, have you guys ever had similar experience, like where you had to push through a moment, also like where it almost stopped you, and you just had to get right back into it, like it just clicked inside of you? Like, what pushed you through your mind?
I'm gonna go right back to that 800. Well, when you signed me up for that 800, you didn't tell me. Apparently, you didn't tell me until like the day after when you was announcing who's running what. And I was really shocked that you would actually do that. I thought it was a joke at first. I'm like, it's not how she's going. She's put me on her 800. She's joking. I'm gonna go there and she's gonna be like, I was joking.
Oh my
And
god.
when we was literally sitting there, I'm like, I'm not going to run this 800. She told me to run this 800. There's no way I'm gonna sit here, run with experienced 800 runners, and be last. That would hurt my ego, and I had a very big ego back then. So it's like, okay, all right, she's telling me I gotta run this 800. I'm waiting for her to stop joking. I'm like literally waiting for you to stop joking. So I'm like, okay, it's
Wow.
almost time for the 800 runners. They're calling the I think it was I think it was like the mile runners first and then the short races. And when it got to like the 800 runners, I'm like, okay, coach, tell me the joke now because if I go there, I'm gonna slip and with my head. There's no way. And then I'm like, Leah, Manny, and Dante and Coach Jay was trying to like calm me down. It's not calm me down. I'm even more anxious because we never practice running the 800. We only do four and twos, and we don't only. I don't have no experience. So getting there and getting on that line, I'm like, my heart is racing. I'm like, God, I gotta use the bathroom. I gotta take a shit. I'm pacing, and the girl is watching me like, are you okay? Is this your first time? I'm like, yeah. But my coach just put me on here for like a joke. Like, I thought it was a joke. I guess not. And they was like, you're gonna be fine. 800 is quick. I'm like, 800 in my head. Since we were doing outdoor, I'm thinking, okay, this 800 is 2 laps. That's four. That's like literally 4 laps on the 200 on the track. So I'm like, okay, it's probably not that bad. At least it's just two and not four. So I'm like, all right. So they're calling up the team. They're calling up
The heats.
the group, yeah, the heat. And I'm like, geez, what heat I'm in? I forgot the heat. I have to go back and check my heat. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the right heat. I'm just waiting for them to call my heat so we can get it over with. So I'm like, okay. And my group, I'm like, on the seventh lane, I guess. I think it was the seventh lane. And as they pulled the gun, I'm like, damn, let me just stick behind this one girl, right behind her, and I know I'm gonna be last. I'm just gonna keep up with the group. And when we come to our second lap, I can like at least give them that you could go ahead because I'm not trying to finish it. I just want to run it at a reasonable pace. So then after that, we're running, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting a handle of this first lap. The second lap, I forget that it's another lap, but I'm like, okay, I fall back. So now I can't catch up to you guys how I was with the first big girl in the front. So I'm just pacing with the other 5 in the back, and I'm like, okay, that's that. And I'm about to lose this. So this is about to be a 3-minute race for me, the longest race I've ever been in. And as I stop, I'm like, I'm dying. I'm literally about to die. I'm like, okay, where's Coach to come get me? Because I'm dying now. After she done put me in 800 and I'm dying, nobody's here. I'm like, no way. I just did that. And at the time, I'm like upset because, I didn't expect you to do that. But at the same time, I didn't have hope in myself that I would actually run a good time here. I'm like, I hope she never does it again. But never puts me another 800, but you did again during conference. Not mad. I'm not mad, but I'm very upset that you did that to me.
And then look what happened on conference. You performed. Like, you literally came in the top 4. That day that you came almost like second to last, you know where I was sitting at? I was sitting right on top of the stadium. I was like, let me see what she's going to do.
I was going to stop. I was thinking about stopping, but
I would have wished it would have stopped.
At the end of the day, a DNF and a DQ is not something I'm happy with. Because first time I got DQ'd, I cried because I was there. I ran the race, did everything properly, and I got flagged for unknown reasons. But we got that fixed.
It's okay. I got you to get uncomfortable so that way you can be comfortable. And guess what? You're at 400 time drop down in an outdoor season, right?
I still wish you wouldn't make jokes like that. Don't make jokes like that again.
I mean, me, Leah, and Maria, we're very proud of you. So I'm very proud of your hard work. So we really appreciate you trying.
Trying is an understatement. I died and came back to life. I came back to life.
What about you, Maria? So, what about you? Have you had?
With me, I think it was almost the opposite as Kayla because originally I was like, nah, I come from soccer. I ran like for 90 minutes straight. I didn't do this. And I was like, maybe I should try doing the 400 and the 800. And Coach King was like, let's start with the 200 and we'll see how it goes. And I think the first thing I did was a 400, and I almost didn't finish it. Like, I was dying. Like, I started running as fast as I could at the beginning, and then after I don't know, maybe 200 something, I was, like, not being able to continue. Like, I needed to kind of, like, stop it, because it's different. In soccer, you run, you stop, you run. It was like sprints. But at the same time, I'm not too fast as the track sprinters, because I remember we tried 100. And I didn't do that good because I need to like warm up the start and then I get a little bit faster. I guess it's weird. So for me, it was like very humbling to be running and knowing that I still have to finish 150 and I can't do it anymore.
But the thing is though, like what like you didn't realize, Maria, like you actually psyched yourself out, right? In a way where remember, I don't know if you remember this, when I told you, I was just like, think about the track as a field, right? So a field of 400 meters, you're about to just literally just run it. So I'm like, pace yourself. And when you put that in your mind, like you were able to go around the track like it was nothing. And that's exactly how you were able to get the time at conference. Like you actually almost came in you actually came in second place in your heats? It was second place that you came in your heats.
Because I was running next to a girl that at the beginning she was like very like next to me, and I was like, I'm not gonna let her be faster than me, so I just kept running with her. That's the thing that helped me.
Yeah,
so I think I came after her.
So that's what I'm saying. You see, like you guys actually put something in your head that you whether if it's a goal or just if a coach gets you mad, or just not having you do the uncomfortable or like the impossible, but you're able to push through it because it's like you don't want to see a DQ, or you don't want to see like you're coming in the last person, right? So that's like one thing about me. Like I always knew for a fact that when I used to be running in college, I never wanted to come in last. I was just like, I'm not going to be the last person to come off the track, So I've always had them like, no, just keep going. You can do this. So that's something that you guys embedded in you. Like I can't teach you guys that, I can't teach you what you're going to think up here. I can motivate you, but you have to have that discipline in you in order for you to perform. Yeah. So it's the same thing. So it's like, so I always had this phrase where everyone would tell me, when I was in college, and that probably happened to you guys too, where like, have you ever been told where like, don't take it personal? Right. And, and it hits you, like it gets you frustrated because it's like, what do you mean it's not personal? You don't understand what my body's going through, or you don't know how I'm feeling. You don't know what this day has been like for me. So it's just, like us women, like we got to expect to be perfectly composed, right? Like we have this picture perfect, we're good to go, but inside we're just breaking into pieces like mirrors, like, just literally breaking into pieces. So it's a good acknowledgement that you guys are really describing, which is good. And, and a piece of advice that I would always say is just look out for the next generation to come, because it's like whatever you do in your actions, people are going to look at that, because you're going to be either a role model or a person that, a younger person that is just there watching you is going to want to be that person like you were. How do you handle that craziness, or how are you able to move forward when the pressure is really on you, or when you are the person that on a relay or the soccer team, like you are the person that have to qualify in order for us to like make sure that we're able to compete and actually win as a team. Like sometimes you have the responsibility of performing for your coach, but again, it comes down to the athletes and coaches need to talk to their athletes in order for them to move on to that next hurdle, because they're not machines, they're humans. So which is good. Like, I'm glad that you guys are opening this up, which is great. So now my next question to all of you is, what would you tell your younger version of yourself today?
To try track, probably. I've never tried it.
Okay.
I think I really, I probably
to try track. Noted. We'll definitely let your little munchkin know that, Maria.
Yeah. I'm gonna have my baby try track since the beginning.
Okay.
And you know what's the worst part? My mom did track in high school, and she did 400 and 800s. And I didn't even know until I tried it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, when I did it, it was hard." And I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean you did track?"
Oh my goodness. Okay, I honestly didn't know that. I'm learning as I go. That's a good point though, Marie. It's a really good point. What about you, Kyla or Leah? What would you guys say?
I told my younger self to not touch Starbucks and to eat off of the McDonald's, because it really affected my performance during practice. So, if I laid off the Starbucks, I probably would have been faster than your average dog, but, maybe not. But I think I had Starbucks religiously every day. So Starbucks is what, I'm a Starbucks addict, okay?
So eating healthy is what you would say to your younger self.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good way to embed it into everybody, which is good. What about you, Leah?
I would tell my younger self, be ready for challenges and don't eat an apple before a race. Or eat nothing before an hour, because you will feel it during the race.
Don't eat at all.
Or just don't eat at all.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's
I think that's one of the first things Kayla told me. Don't eat before practice. I was like, okay, that's weird, but sure. You're gonna throw up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, there's many times we told them don't eat during practice, and people would come and they were throwing up. I remember one runner, I think his name was Patrick. He had his stomach was weak. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Which is weird because for soccer you would usually have something to eat before a game, like you have your banana and like drink something, like be ready. But for track it's different.
The thing is, you could eat, but it's the way you eat it, right? So it's either you gotta picture, right? So it's track and field, like you run and everything, and it's just like digestion and all that type of stuff. But you have to know what time you're racing. Like if you're going to race early in the morning, eat heavy at night. If you're gonna race at night, eat heavy in the morning. So that way during the day you're just hydrating. You don't want to be heavy on your stomach and like your whole upper body system. You don't want to feel heavy, and the next thing you know, you're not able to perform like the way that you want to, so it's just, you want to stay hydrated. That's why I always say make sure you eat heavy the night before, because it's always great. I would love to make a statement where I have two statements that I came up with. The two statements are: we show up looking strong because the world only rewards performance but not pain. My other statement is: the higher you perform, the harder it becomes to say I am not okay.
I totally agree with the second one.
Yeah.
The higher you perform, less emotions you can show. So the
higher you perform, so like higher as in the higher you perform, right? So for example, like you go into the whatever, like the highest collegiate level that you could, or soccer tournament, right? The harder it becomes to say that you're not okay when you're going through emotionally, you're going through so much inside of you, or like away from the sports, and you're just bringing that in you because it's still part of you. Like you just cannot let it go away, but you just know for a fact that you have to perform at a higher level. So it just gets harder to say I'm not okay. So it's like, if, coaching wise, I come to you guys and be like, hey, how are you doing today? I'm okay, coach. Let's go. I'm ready to race. But you're not okay deep down inside. Like you're just like you're literally holding everything inside because you know you need to perform.
I feel like the higher you perform, the more pressure you have, and more pressure also to say that you're not feeling like you're not able to say how you feel because of the pressure. But I always wonder, why are we not allowed to be to say that we're not okay? Like I feel like we should be able to say how we feel, especially in in competitive sport. Because if we just don't look into others' mentality or like feelings, or it's just not going to be enjoyable sport.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. So like we don't normalize that now, right? So like, I mean, it's starting to be a trend where like, more of us like coaches and everyone that is just trying to make a difference in the sports world, like they're acknowledging that, they're realizing that mental health, like it's taking a toll on athletes, especially females, because like again, females, they go through a lot, like whether if it's motherhood or just like moving from out of town or living with somebody that you just don't know, and like financially, like you just don't have the needs that you're able to support your family or anything like that. But then you are on a full ride scholarship for university or for school, and for a fact that in order for you to hold the fort down, like you have to bring that aside, but it's still part of you, but you still got to perform. So it's hard, right? So it's like, it's hard to come to a coach, or like, again, I'm just hypothetically speaking, you have to be so much comfortable to the point where like your coach is able to actually ask you, or you're comfortable with your own coach where, coach, I'm not okay. Something is wrong, where you can sit down and just bawl out, and just cry your feelings out. It's just, it hurts. It really hurts, because I've been through it, and to really perform at a high level and just hold all that in and expect and expect results. It hurts, because it's like what could I have done to prevent this from feeling like this? So but that's something like, I wanted to share with you guys and see, if you guys actually felt that way as well. And, this segment is really to give advice to females that are watching you guys, and feel what you guys have been going through. Is there any advice that you can tell them today so it could help them in their sports to come?
I would say like to use your voice to speak up because a lot of athletes, they're I would say they're not scared, but they're scared of their coach. They don't want to disappoint. They want to show up, do their best, but at the same time, they feel like they're scared. They don't want to speak up because the coach expects you to do your best and stuff like. And at the same time, you also have to if you're injured, if you're hurt, you have to say something. You can't sit there and run on that broken leg, or you feel the pain in your ankle and you're not going to your coach for help or anything. Their coaches are here to, help you out and also train you to do your best. It's not like you have to sit there and suffer. You have to actually speak up. 'Cause you're human. Just speak up.
I love that, Kyla. I really do. That's a very thoughtful. That's a very thoughtful advice. I really. What about you, Maria or Leah? Is there any advice that you would love to give to the next female generations to come?
Before that, I was just gonna say because of the quote, I didn't get to.
Oh yes. So, go ahead.
So two things. The second quote made me think about two things. One is like sometimes when you get higher, like it is harder to like get your feelings out and everything, but also because you already fought so hard to get there that you don't want like those feelings to not let you be there, like to take you away from it or like lose, I don't know, some time feeling like that. Or, for example, if you're feeling bad, you go to practice, you want to make practice about practice. Sometimes you just don't want to make it about the other things. So, also, like, it's especially because, like I said before, for me, doing sports and doing this type of thing makes me feel good. It makes me forget about the other things. Makes me, like, I don't know.
Relaxes. It distracts you from what's going on.
It like reloads you too, like it recharges you, like it's not part of all that stuff. So for example, sometimes you're like in practice or about to race and you're thinking about the same thing, you're like, no, they just disappear. You're just like, so then you finally finish practice, finish race, whatever, get back home, and that's when you're like, everything comes back. So maybe that's what it's hard about that too. Like while you're there running, doing whatever, that's not part of it. But when you get back, when you're finally alone or when you're home and you're finally relaxed, then everything comes back, and maybe even with more stuff. And that's the part that's
like you're enjoying the moment.
Yeah, and then like so it's harder sometimes to tell someone, and like Kayla was saying, tell your coach and tell. Sometimes it's hard because in that moment you're okay, in that moment you're enjoying it, and then when you get back, that's when it comes, and you're not just gonna be like.
It's like when you're alone, everything just starts to come into your head little by little. It's like, why is this happening? This is going on. It's just like little ipsy dipsy pieces going inside your head when no one's watching, right? So it's like you're by yourself, laying in bed, just probably on the wall, just staring on the ceiling and be like, what just happened, right? So it's like you were thinking about it before the competition, and after the competition, it kind of like races like 100%, like 1,000 on you, right?
Yeah, but during a lot of times for me, which like it's not there, like
it just refuels you.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. But that's good though. Like that's something, that's an emotional power that you have, where the fact that you actually But correct me if I'm wrong. And the way that I'm interpreting what you're saying is the fact that like, so everything that you have or like personal wise, like inside of you, it doesn't affect you. It actually fuels you to want to do even better. Is that right?
I think it's more like when I'm running or when I'm doing a sport, I get in the zone and I'm there, and everything else is not there.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like it doesn't matter. Like if I have a test tomorrow, I have homework, I have like it's not there. It'll come back when I get back home.
Okay, so what would be an advice that you would love to give for the females, for the next females to come in sports? Like, what would you like to let them know?
I guess that I mean, like Leah was saying, like if you really think you can do it, you can do it. You just have to like do try, not like give up even before trying, but also like try other things. Maybe something other. Sometimes it's if you try another sport, like both of us had the situation where we were doing something else and suddenly tried track, and it was like, hey, wait, this is great. Like it's even better than the other one or whatever. Like try different things. Like
Try different things. That's a good advice too. That's a really good advice. It's like you just don't know where you'll be able to thrive in the sport, or the sport will you'll end up loving it, so you're able to just compete in it. I like that advice though. So what about you, Leah? What advice would you give?
I would definitely say have fun. Like just focus on sometimes just be positive. Like sports should be something you should enjoy, and I think there are so many students out there. They have so much potential that they don't know, and I think you just sometimes should try. Like don't even think about how old you are. Just I didn't even know. I was like running was never my thing. Like in high school, elementary, I used to hate running, and now I kind of becomes my balance in my daily life. So I would just say, try, and if you never try, you never know.
That is true. That is true. So one more, I probably can say, Leah, because what you, Kyla, and Maria has stated is a great advice for the next generation to come, is because of the fact that one, not only are they hearing your side of the story, but two, they can take this and apply it to whatever they want to do in life, especially in sports. Like, because sports it's very hard to balance, especially as a student athlete, where you have to balance both wise. But to let them know to wear the emotions as their badge and not to be afraid to speak out is because this is something that will help them in the future mentally. Right? Am I saying this correctly? Like we're summarizing all three of you guys, and I would say it's a badge of emotions, correct? Like I would say it's a pride of emotions, not to be we're seen. It's not to be like, oh my God, like this is just something that should not be. We shouldn't have this at all. Not being embarrassed of it. That's what I meant to say. Not being embarrassed and knowing that the fact that you're just wearing your emotions on your sleeves. Right? But that's awesome. So I don't know who needed to hear this, but if you ever felt like your emotions disqualified you, they're not. They just make you human. What you feel doesn't make you weak, right? What you carry in silence, it still competes with you. That strength that they always don't see, but it's real, right? So it's like everything that you guys talked about, it's really your life experience and how you applied it to your normal life. Like sports really do teach you a lot of stuff, even outside of running, soccer, volleyball. It teaches you that discipline, like, okay, I got to do A, B, and C, which is great to know. I have one question for all three of you guys, and I promise this is the last thing. And the only reason why I would love to ask this is because I wanted to save this for last. And I would say, if your emotions were a playlist, what's the title?
Roller coaster.
What would be your playlist?
My playlist will be all over the place, especially now that I'm pregnant.
Okay, all over the place. Okay.
Not even bipolar vibes. It's gonna be like multiple personality vibes in like 20 minutes.
Okay.
But usually I like something I can dance to, so
Okay.
I don't know.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one for you, Maria. It suits your character. Well, like for your situation right now, which is good. Wait, I'll reroute back after your pregnancy. All right. What about Kyla or Leah? What would you guys say?
Maybe, I don't know, like a lot of emotion, like and emojis. Like I would choose an angry one. I would choose the sad one and the smiley one and like this emoji.
Oh, don't disturb emoji.
Yeah. So my emotion playlist. Because every day you feel different, right? Sometimes I feel this, sometimes I feel this. So it's
Okay. So you're the type. So you don't put sentences; you just put emojis. Okay. So it's just like different feelings throughout the. Okay. I that's actually very new.
We're all having a multiple personality dance party. That's what we're all having.
So that's what it is. Okay. That's a good one. Okay, Kyla, you're up. What would your playlist be called?
I don't even know because I like reggae music, so it stays on one place. So I don't know. I like gunman music, so it's probably just gonna be like a whole mess. So the playlist is gonna be like mess, and then have like a whole bunch of reggae and call dancers and singers in the playlist. So
So I'll probably say She's in the Rain, probably type.
yeah.
She's in the rain. Well, I am so honored that all three of you guys are here. Thank you so much for your time. It really means a lot that, each and one of you shared your stories today for everyone to hear. Your stories matter. I want you all to know that. And I am so grateful that you trusted me with this story to send it out to everyone to see it as well. And I really hope that this, really touches somebody out there, whoever it is listening to this segment. I really do hope that this is something that they needed to hear, and just make a difference in their life. So this episode really touched you, and it touched me as well, because it's just, we're all emotion, and to us it's just something that we want to make this next generation, especially for females, to come to be stronger as women, and just to hold each other accountable in a way where, like, if there's something that you feel like can help the world that you're able to share, we would want to do that, right? Like, be part of that movement. So in this episode, it's called Season 3, She's Just Emotional. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you. This was Slow Down, the Athlete Talk. No script, just talk, slow down. Thank you so much, Leah, Kyla, and Maria. And I hope to see you guys soon.